The 180 trillion token arbitrage. ByteDance is currently processing 180 trillion tokens every single day on its Dubao model, a volume that has grown 10 times in the last year alone. While the industry fixates on U.S. export bans, ByteDance has effectively ignored them by scaling its proprietary silicon. Their internal numbers suggest they have achieved an inference cost of roughly 4 cents per million tokens, a price point that undercuts Meta's Llama ecosystem by nearly 60%. They are not just building a model, they are running an infrastructure dump designed to make Western API pricing look like a relic of the pre-commodity era. This volume shift is the real signal that their dependence on NVIDIA is a solved problem, and the silicon pivot under this volume is even more aggressive. The Broadcom silicon bypass, the narrative that ByteDance is starved for compute, is debunked by their June 2026 production scale-up of custom 5nm accelerators. By partnering with Broadcom and Qualcomm for custom XPUs, ByteDance has successfully decoupled its P&L from the NVIDIA H200 shortage. These chips aren't general purpose. They are hyper-optimized for the specific mixture of experts architecture used in Dubao 2.1 Pro. This allows ByteDance to maintain a 70% gross margin on enterprise video generation, while its competitors are still burning cash on generic GPU rentals. It is a classic move of hardware-software co-design to bypass regulatory bottlenecks and high OpEx. This hardware independence is what fuels their recent open-source release strategy. Weaponizing open-source tooling. ByteDance is using open-source releases like the Deerflow agent harness to commoditize Meta's Llama dominance. By giving away the orchestration layer for free, they are forcing developers into a workflow that naturally defaults to ByteDance's cheaper Volcano Engine APIs for high-volume inference. It is not about community spirit. It is about building a developer trap that makes the underlying model interchangeable. While Meta spends billions to make Llama the standard, ByteDance is making the model itself a commodity and moving the value up to the agent layer where they control the enterprise integration. Even the recent July 2026 decision to pull consumer AI personas in China isn't a retreat, but a calculated pivot to the more lucrative enterprise market. This strategic narrowing leads to a singular global goal: the signal under the noise. The real takeaway is that ByteDance has successfully inverted the traditional tech war narrative. By using open-source standards to maintain software compatibility and custom silicon to solve the hardware gap, they have turned U.S. export controls into a competitive advantage that forced them to become more efficient than their Silicon Valley peers. The 180 trillion token volume in the Dubao 2.1 release proves they are no longer just chasing GPT benchmarks. They are building a global utility where the unit economics are the only moat that matters. For operators and investors, the lesson is clear. The advantage has shifted from the researchers who build the weights to the architects who own the lowest cost inference pipe. Watch the Volcano Engine's international revenue growth over the next quarter as the ultimate proof of this structural bypass. If they hit their 10-fold enterprise growth target, the battle for the model layer is officially over. Subscribe for more